What's going on, everyone? Josh Rzepka here, and welcome to another Mute Monday. Today I am very excited to be sharing with you two vintage mutes from the 1930s. These are extremely rare, and I am very excited to play these and show them to you. This is the Shastock Newow and Shastock Krooner. These were made sometime between 1932 and 1938. I'm not certain of the exact date, however, I was able to find this ad which announced both of these mutes as being new, and the address listed was 2530 Superior Avenue in Cleveland, Ohio, so that would narrow it down to those 6 years between 1932 and 1938 when the factory was located at that address. The Newow is a relatively recent addition to my collection, and this Krooner was loaned to me by my friend and renowned trumpeter Michael Sachs. Before I get into the close-up shots and the longer playing examples, let's hear a quick couple of notes from each of these. Pretty cool, right? There are not too many mutes that have been made with this particular sound. Now, let's take a look at both of these up close and see what they are all about. Starting with the Newow, as you can see, it kind of looks like the bottom part of a solo tone mute, which is exactly what it is. This mute is made from vulcanized fiberboard, which is a common material for mutes of that era, as well as modern fiber mutes. If you look inside, you'll actually see there is a metal tube, which appears to be made out of aluminum. The cork seals at the bottom, so the air comes out of the other side, which has got this wild shower head type piece of metal on the end. This is also made out of aluminum, and it is painted. On the top of the mute, you can see there are a couple rivets, and upon inspection, it does appear that this bottom part is vulcanized fiberboard as opposed to the wooden resonator that you would find on a solo tone mute. Now, let's check out this Krooner mute. This looks pretty wild. However, there are a lot of similarities between this and the Newow. The bottom section of both of these mutes are basically identical. However, on the Krooner, this little shower head type piece on the inside is suspended a little further out with this megaphone piece mounted around it and slightly below it. If you look up either of these mutes online, there is very little information about either of them. Now, if we think back to the 1930s, this was a time when every club had live bands, and they were trying to stand out from each other with their musical offerings. So a lot of band leaders, they were asking these mute manufacturers to come up with wild and new sounding mutes so that they would have, a new sound, something that would really set them apart from the other bands. Well, I think that is enough talking about these. Let's hear what they sound like. All right, so you've just heard the Newow and Krooner mutes. What did you think? Pretty cool, right? I've got to say, I really love the character sound with both of these mutes. It's such an unusual and unique sound from both of them. It's like going back in time 90 years. They both actually play fairly well throughout the registers without being stuffy. Although the Krooner mute, this has got a little bit more resistance than the Newow. And the Krooner also, it's a bit more difficult to play in tune in the upper and lower registers. But I really like the bite to the edge of the Newow. It's really fantastic. And the Krooner, it's got this warmth to the sound and a completely different projection because of this megaphone at the end. I think the Krooner might be a little bit better suited for recording or as a soloist in a softer section because it doesn't have as many of those higher overtones to the sound. So it may not project as well in an ensemble, but both of these are very cool and very fun to play. Anyway, that is all I've got for you today. I am very excited to have shared both of these mutes with you. If you ever run across one of them, they are very rare and difficult to find, so don't toss it out. Don't give it away. There are plenty of trumpeters and collectors out there that would be very happy to get their hands on one of these. And again, a very big thank you to Michael Sachs for loaning this Krooner mute to me. That is very much appreciated. I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.